Hi, thanks for joining me today. Are you finding that however hard you try, you're dealing with bolshy, resentful or difficult stepchildren who almost pull you the other way? They're almost willing what you're trying to achieve to fail? I post once a week, so subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and I'll let you know every time I post. If you're finding that your stepchildren are not moving on, they're rather begrudging of what's happening now, you feel that there's a bit of resentment about the way their parent has moved on with you, and they make things awkward at home and they put the buffers on. They don't enjoy themselves. They're wanting their parent to sort of indulge them, meet their needs, and it's exhausting. You don't seem to be able to get anywhere. It's very tempting for the step-parent to sort of cajole and encourage and put effort into distraction and buoying people along and being positive, and hopefully by being positive themselves, the positivity will sort of spread to the stepchildren too, and everyone will sort of begin to have a good time. But if you're finding this isn't working, then there is a very important factor or point that is worth seriously bearing in mind. And it is this: if something is really troubling the stepchild about the way the family have reformed or has progressed or has changed, and it's not being addressed, and everybody's just sweeping it under the carpet and carrying on with their lives and being happier than they were before, then actually, as a stepchild, it's very difficult to just forget it and move on themselves. It may be worth thinking about addressing what's really, really upsetting the child so that they can get it out and feel heard and feel as though somebody understands what they're thinking and feeling, and then they will be able to move on as well. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Let's just suppose one parent dies and the remaining parent meets and sets up a new relationship with a step-parent, and the family moves on. And the step-parent puts in an awful lot of effort to try and make the family good again, including the stepchildren. But meanwhile, the stepchild is thinking, but I miss my first parent. I really am very sad. I don't want, him or her to be forgotten. And everybody's moving on, and I'm just really, really upset and sad. Now, if somebody were to turn around to that child and say, so tell me what you're really thinking. You look as though you're a bit upset. Are you upset? And open it up in a way that they can say, well, yes, I'm scared that my first parent is being forgotten. Well, I don't know what they'll say, but it's kind of like, it's only when you can sort of acknowledge that and sort of say, well, your parent won't be forgotten, but let's just think about that for a bit, and maybe we can do something special on special days to remember him or her, or we can continue to do something to acknowledge their existence in some way that's really helpful. Then the child can look at the very sad, upsetting thing that is inside them and be able to release it and then move on. And then when you sort of say, well, let's all just have a fun day, let's go to the park and whatever, they can join in more, because then they are feeling that their sadness is acknowledged, and therefore they can also participate in the good stuff too. But otherwise they'll go to the good stuff and they'll say, but I'm still so sad and I'm still so upset, and it affects your day having fun. But the same can be said for a split up as well. I don't know what happened in your step family before you arrived as a step parent, but often, unless somebody can look at, let's call it the dark side, the unhappy side, the stuff that's upsetting them, the stuff that is really making them not want tomorrow to happen, unless somebody talks to them about that and says, what is it? What is it that's affecting your ability to enjoy yourself when we're all having fun? Then it remains bottled up inside them and they carry it around with them. And then whenever they want to, they will use it to destroy your efforts as a step parent to make things good again. People say that time heals, and I'm not sure I fully agree with that. There are people that carry hurts and bereavements and massive change or trauma with them all of their lives, and they don't get over it. Getting over a loss or a change or a trauma or a bereavement, and when I say loss, it's not necessarily just loss through death, but loss of what was before, the family arrangement they had before, can be more about the process. It's a process that needs to be gone through, not just a passage of time. And the process means addressing the upset and understanding it, acknowledging it, and just making an effort to, in your acknowledgement, to do something differently because of it. So it's not just acknowledgement, it's doing something as well. So if you are finding you are dealing with a stepchild or stepchildren who are stuck in the past, make unreasonable demands, can be bolshy or resentful, or are just pulling the other way, pull the family down all the time instead of moving on, then look at what could be really upsetting this child, rather than just trying to sort of jolly them along or help them forget the past or have a good time so that it just sort of distracts them from their unhappiness. If you're finding that doesn't work, go to that unhappiness and see what's there and then address it in any way that can kind of acknowledge to the child that it exists. And you might find that they can then release what their upset is about and move on. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. Look in the description box below for links to our social media and website.